Hello everyone, welcome to today's drawing session. I've been working on some doodles over the last few hours. Some of these I did last night. This was the first one that I did. That is an ink drawing like these and colored pencil on top, as you can see. It's okay, it's not bad. I'm kind of regretting putting in the color. But that was my first go, and then last night I doodled this guy, and then there's some flowers. Just ink. This is just my ink pen. This is a generic, it came in an art box, so there's no marketing on it, ink pen that's in my stash. So we have these that I've done already, and morning coffee off to the side here. So these are the ones that I've done already, and I'm thinking that I'm just going to continue drawing and include you guys, right? I have these cards. I don't know why I have them all spread out like that. I have these offcuts. These are just offcuts from this is multimedia paper, mixed media paper, sorry, and it's really nice to draw on and use different mediums. So we have these so far. I'll move my pencils out of the way. Done, and then these to work on. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going with my drawing. I was thinking about doing a pencil sketch first, but I prefer to just go in with ink, because then I don't have any excuses. Like I just go in, just start. And I've been at this for a while, so these take a little bit of time. We're gonna do a toad next, but I need to. Yeah, maybe I will go with pencil for this one. I need to get in loosely, wider. In the gut area, a little wider, a little wider. Yeah, that's wide enough. All right, knee, his knee, around, down, and then in, and then there's his little foot is right here, up a little higher, there. Cutting into that tummy area, like that. Okay. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Today is a non-work day for me. I'm not doing overtime. This shape comes down, in, there's a little nodule there, and then kind of like that, and down a little bit. Just a little, there's a little archway here, and then around and up. Okay. Now, let's just get rid of that there. Like that, that's better. Now, I have been trying really hard to draw every day. And the work, my daily work schedule has really hindered that. This is not big enough. Go up and out, up and out, like that, like that. There we go, that's better. Okay. So let's get the rest of his. Oh, that's too little. We can erase that later. I'm jumping on my eraser way too soon. So there's this line, it sweeps out like that, and then goes up, 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 like that. And then here, about here, yeah, about here, got some of this shape going on, across the back. He looks like a rock, actually. Lots of stuff going on. Here, here, here. The eye needs to go right here. Right about there. And we're going to just loosely, this very, very round eye, very round, and bigger, 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 like that. Very prominent. There we go. There's our eye. And then that over the eye hump, like so. There we go. Good. And that face coming down. This is where I get a little too lost in details. So I'm doing like crazy sketch lines, drawing over the existing line to find a line that I like. Okay, here, and I've got a little, oh, goes this way, here. There, this comes in a bit and then around like that. Okay, and then behind this eye right here, a little lower, just a touch lower right here, we've got the other eye, actually right close there. Go up, over, across, and then getting in that basic shape, and it's very angular like that, and then you can see the eyeball peeking out on that side over there, right there, all the way down to here. That's that eyeball peeking out, and then this is over the top right here. Okay, cool. And then we have our chin, right? There's a little chin here, kind of fades out over there. And we have a line underneath this jowl, a little bit of, because frogs, toads, this is a toad, toads have a lot of flexibility with this pouch here, right? I don't know much about species of toads, but I do know some of them can expand this pouch. So it's got to be reasonably right to here, and then swoops down like that. There we go. It has to be reasonably rendered so that it looks like it can do that. Here, and then there's a shadow coming at this, kind of V's gently right through here, and then it has a little jag in, and then another down, and a little there. So there's another little V thing going on there, and then this side of the mouth, there's a gentle breakaway here that I'm getting too delineated. There, better. Down, and then sweeps in a bit, and it kind of mirrors This line is very wobbly. Maybe not as exaggerated as I made it, but that's okay. My art can do what I want. I do want this to come out more like that. Be more like that. And then there's a here and around like this. There's this part right here that is rounded like that, and then there's the back of the head swooping in like that. There we go, that's better. I'm looking for a little bit more girth than I have without losing this swoop. Like that. And with pencil, you can go ahead and get that in right to the edge of the page. I think with this knee, that's better. And then this line here and this line here, there's a little directly under the eye, about the middle of our toad, is a little shadow right here that is very prominent. And then next to that, and going down, is that leg in line with this this area here. It comes straight down. Is that over too far? It is not. Comes straight down. That's the problem with drawing on these little cards, is I get drawing too big and I need to tone it down a bit. So our leg, our toady leg, foreleg is here. That elbow is like right here, just above the knee, where it starts sweeping in a bit. Right there. And we have a little bit of markings happening like this. And it looks too small right now, I know, because there is this shadow here that I was getting carried away with. That comes down, 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 down. There's our original line right there. So I moved it over just a bit. And this needs to be a little thicker over here, like that. And then it swoops in a bit. And slightly lower than this, slightly straight across, but angling down a bit. Then there's another toad finger here. And that's the base of it. And then we're not going to see anything behind. And here is the top of our little toad finger. And then this one's pointing more this direction and ends right about there. And visually, within the reference photo, there's enough overlapping in texture that you can't completely tell where this is without really, really, really looking at your photo. So pull up a reference photo of a toad, Pixabay, Unsplash. There are many, many free reference photo sites out there. Okay. Don't be shy about using reference photos, especially because this is the only way to learn and fill up those memory banks for drawing, sketching and doodling on your own time without using reference photo. I know that I have a huge I'm looking to see where there's his tummy continuing right here, but it's gently sweeping up. Gently, 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 keeping that line up and over And this tummy, where it stops visually and starts to go up, is in line with this eye right here. So straight down, it starts to go, right? Yep, in line with the corner of this eye, so straight down. This is where our other toady arm is going to be starting. And it's up against that tummy, right? So it's just going to go up. And the top of it stops here, right? But of course, then we have our jaw, and this distance needs to be reasonable. There's a little bit of a curve there, side of that leg. So this can come out just a touch more. Side of that leg comes gentle angle right there, and then kind of straight down. And the forelegs are bigger visually than this area up here. So we've got this little spot here, and then the foreleg is here. It's slightly wider than visually than up here. And then there's a skin, it folds. So this comes up there, and then there's a little bit of skin fold here, like on any creature, right? There's extra skin. Skin's amazing. And then there's our tummy flowing down. And then this arm looks really wide. And I'm using my pencil as a measuring tool against my reference photo and against here. And if you're drawing pretty close to the same size as your reference photo, that can help you. Let's see. And there's a little bit of, this is where the texture is on the, and the color change is right through here. And we'll get that locked in later. And then in reference to these toes and the gut area, this little pocket of space right here is what I'm going to work on next. So I'm going to make this shape here, not these shapes, this negative shape here. I want to get that in. So it comes more straight down. And this could be confusing for you, so I'm going to go ahead and lighten these lines over here, like that. Okay. This comes from here, and it angles out a bit, and then up into there, and then there's a little bump, and a little downward, and a little swoop in. So there's a swoop in right here. This line needs to be more straight up and down. Just a gentle inward sweep to this line here, and that where it stops here is in line with this toe, and then there's a toe coming out this direction, right about there. There's a little arch, and then there's this little toe right here. This V's visually right here. And we'll make it look right. We'll make it look more correct after we get the basic shapes in, right? And then there's another toe pointing out, and it is behind this one, right there. We'll see it coming together visually. And then right here at the sweep, we have another toe back here. I don't know how many toe beans a toad has, if this is a connected piece or not. I haven't looked into that. But this is our shape right here, right? And then in here we have the buttock, the bottom of our toad right here. There is a dark spot right here. I'm going to go ahead and shade that in. That is the shadow under our toad butt. That's dark right here. This bit here is also dark through here. And then a little bit in here. See I'm beginning to take shape. And then there's definitely a little bit of shadow underneath that foot. And yeah, like that. And then back behind this shape here is our toad. And then in line with this crease here, we see a little toe bean poking out over here. Can't even, because he's sitting back on his legs all weird. Who knows? Who knows? We're just going to leave it. I might take that out. We'll see. There. There's our toad all sketched in. Now, this is where I want to do line work with a pen. So I'm going to take my kneaded eraser, give myself a roundy shape. It's like playing with Play-Doh or clay. Like that is what I tend to do, and then just roll it over your existing drawing to get it to a point that you're comfortable. Like there's enough excess graphite picked up, right? But you can still see your drawing enough that you can get in there with your ink. And these kneaded erasers are amazing. I highly recommend them. They're really, really amazing tool. Kind of dangerous to use on watercolor paper because if you're too rough, they can damage your watercolor paper, from what I'm told. I've never had an issue, but I don't get aggressive with them usually either. I like that you can shape them to get into tight areas if you need to. Something to think about. Now I'm going to go in with my pen, and here's where I'm going to go ahead and be a little more deliberate with my lines. But you saw how these are active. They feel like they feel active to me. I want that with this sketch as well. I want it to be more of a sketch than a drawing. And the difference for me is that a rendered drawing, I'm going to take a lot of time and purposeful energy, probably not going with a pen, but with pencil and I'm getting in the weird shapes on the eye. This line is actually more rounded like that, and then there's a pocket of light there and there. I got a little messy there, but that's okay. We can go in later with a, and here if you're not good with circles, you can go ahead and use a stencil. You can totally go ahead and use a stencil. But I've discovered too with drawing animals, not all of your lines need to be perfect, because there's so much variation from creature to creature, even within a species, that when you're drawing, it's just not going to be wrong with the tiny details. It's just not going to feel wrong to anybody. Now down here, I'm going to get in some pointillism. Just quick. This feels like a, it says it's a 5, but it feels more like a 3. The tip of this is very fine. Let me find a 5. This is I have a whole bin of these. See the difference between the nib tips? This is, even that's a little thick. This is very fine though. It feels like a 1 or a 2, maybe a 3. This is my 3. And they more coincide. This one's very fine. It is off-brand as well, so maybe that's why. I don't normally work with pens this small, mostly because I don't like it, but yeah. The eyes are important. It is important for me to take my time with the eye of a creature. I feel like once I get that eye in effectively, and I personally like to start with the eyes, I just feel like from there, I can get a little loose and squirrely with the rest of the drawing. More scribbly, because I do want this to feel more like a sketch than, see, than a drawing, like a rendered. And here's where you can make changes to your drawing as well. This is your moment, your time to shine, as it were. I'm getting in the basic shapes first before I go in with crazy details, or trying to there. And this is that other eyeball back there. See? Those eyes matter so much. There's a bit of darkness in the coloring around there. And then this hood has some texture visually with the markings. So I'm going to do that there. I'll come out with it, down, and then in here we have a little pocket of light color there. Okay, and then let's get a little few scribbly markings in here for the top of that snout area, like that. And there's some pointillism, just dots. That's all pointillism is dots. Dots of various sizes, sometimes various shapes, to convey shadowing and texture, which for me is important, right? I like texture in my art. I like texture, and I actually like action lines and movement. So a stagnant pose like this, if I were working on a bigger piece, there would be something going on telling a story around what's going on with our toad. There'd be like a mood. What mood is our toad in today? Is he having a good day? Did he catch enough flies to feel satisfied? Bugs, whatever else he eats. We got a little shape there. And then this is very light through here, so I'm not going to do a lot of harsh line. I'm just going to do some more dots to get in a broken line, to get in the feeling of this line right here. And then there's definitely more darker texture floating from this eye through here. And there's bunches of marks through here. They are shaped like little I'm going to say warts, but it's just a misnomer. Little bumpy textures on his skin that are bubbly looking. So do little C shapes instead of dots. That's fun, right? We can do a few more dots up here. And then there's little C shapes up here. Kind of like if you were drawing a mermaid, something like that. Gentle little, it can be just little scribble lines as well, just to convey texture, like that. See? Texture. Instantaneous texture. That line right there, I'm not digging, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. Because we can go in with other tools and fix it later. I'm going to go ahead and get in some texture lines through here. Little C's, little C's, little C's. And then this arch right here, I'm going to do the same thing. I want this to feel like it's coming down and around. And see how those little lines make, they're informing shape, dimension. And those little bumps can be a bit bigger through here. Now, there's a lot going on here as far as design and color are concerned. There's a lot going on here. So I'm going to be creative with it to a point. I don't want to do too much and lose my shapes, but there is a bit going on that was cross hatching. So if you do lines this direction and then go over them with this the other direction, that's called cross hatching. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Ah, delish. Okay. Continuing on. Maybe we should go ahead. Stop with details. See, this is me getting lost in details. Really early on, I haven't finished my sketch. So let's go ahead and get in our, now here's where I'm going to be mindful of what mark making I'm doing. Because I don't want these to be lines. I want them to be shape, shadow. I don't want a hard line. So I'm going to use pointillism through here. On just over the existing lines. We can perfect it later and do the same thing here. Coming up, getting that little frowny face shape going on. So I'm going to go up a little and then down a little like that. Good. Sorry. I want a feeling of that he's looking more up this way. So that's what I'm going with here. Yeah, we're just going to continue to get in those shapes. And I'm going to come back over to the edge here. And get in this through here. And then this little area here, here, here. See my nice loose lines over the top, and they can be scribbly where you feel they need to be, wiggly where you feel they need to be. And this is stopping here because we have a little bit of this going on here. Tummy, tummy. It's a very bumpily line through here. The joy of drawing creatures that have a lot of texture and stuff going on. I don't want to get too carried away with weirdness down here because we'll lose our toes. I don't want to lose my toe beans. We'll get those scribbled in quickly. I'm leaving that because I don't know if I want to keep it or not. Artistic license is what that's called. And this toe bean is pretty long. Going up, like that. And this toe bean comes down like this. And then the bottom of that one. There we go. I'm not liking that little thing, that little artistic decision made. I like it better like that. I feel like if anything, it would come out down here visually. That makes more sense, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Now, generally speaking, here is where I would erase the rest of my lines. You want it to be dry, because if it's not dry, you can, and these pens do dry pretty quickly, you can smudge your piece. You can roll over this again so that it's not quite so apt to smudge, but I would really like to get rid of my lines in here, clean up the drawing, especially if I've started with pencil. And it doesn't have to be completely clean. Let's see how that makes things a little less complicated. And from here, I can make ink decisions, right? Let's put that guy down. Permanent choices to make. We're just gonna go in and do some mark making. We're gonna do some little, remembering he's very textured. So you can get creative with this mark making at this point. You can make his texture flowers, right? You can go in here and do whatever your little heart desires at this point. Maybe he's a flower toad. The Toad of Flowers, that's his title. And it doesn't have to be, you know, blatantly obvious either. You can make the design kind of peek out and then disappear. Which I kind of like to do. Or you can make it a blatant part of his little world. Remembering to keep your shadows of your shapes. You want to keep your shadow shapes, so go ahead and make those marks. Now, if you don't want to do a design, you know, if you're not feeling whimsical, you can just keep to your reference photo, and don't worry about what I'm doing. You do you. But here's where I go off into my own little world. I have my reference photo. Actually, we can just turn it off at this point and go crazy. Go crazy with your mark making. And remembering he is the Toad of Flowers. These particular little flowers. And come in with some little C shapes through here. And all of those little bumpy marks can be made to look like a bit of a flower. Remembering that certain areas you're not going to see the whole flower, right? You're just going to see little bits and ideas of it. So you can go ahead and do that. So unless you're really looking, you maybe don't notice, right? And maybe some dots through here, and maybe some just, this is pretty smooth through here, so I'm going to leave it alone. Just put a few lines in. And then there's a little, like this is his arm, so there's a shoulder here. There's a shoulder here, right? I'll put in a little scribbly mark and some dots right there to convey that overall shape. Dots there. And then here is where I can get creative with my mark making. Maybe instead of full flowers, we have a bud. And just some cute little vines rolling down. And then there's a bud right here. And then another little bud right there coming into this vine. there's one peeking out from the side there. And on your bud, you can make some little leaves poking out like that. And then maybe there's a flower here. Little misshapen dude coming around the side with some leaves on those vines. And once again, you can get as creative or crazy as you want with your sketch, your drawing. Right? And then maybe some little texture marks. See, it's still textured, right? Maybe like that. Little C shapes. Little C shapes for an occasional full circle. Little wiggly C shapes like that. Maybe there's another bud right here like that. Okay, and then just continuing down. With your idea. Maybe you don't like flowers, maybe you like skulls, maybe you like, I don't know, dinner plates, teapots, whatever you like. Whatever tickles your fancy. Swirls, it could just be textures, concentric circles, just general doodle marks. It doesn't have to be anything definitive either. It can just be a speckle through here, because these tiny little C shapes are itty bitty, so they can be just little pinpricks of texture, the occasional dot throughout, and then a little C here and a little C there. Our texturing and stuff gets a little small on that tummy because it is a. I'm gonna go ahead and put some outside shapes going up like that. I like that. This line's too definitive for me, so I'm gonna pull it in where I can, kind of visually break things up a little bit. There. I like that better. These come together, right? And then down here, my face was like right in there, so I'm sorry if my head was in the camera. I tend to do that when I'm getting into things. Let's go ahead and little dots, teensy itsy bitsy dots. And then we have some texture going out that way. And then let's do some texture going out this way. I want that shape to feel like it's going like that. Little S feeling going on. So these lines are going to go more this direction, right? The different shapes putting in. And as I said, doesn't have to be an actual blatant design. It can be just marks. Just fun marks. I know that when I was doing my mermaid drawings, I was really into, let's see, let's grab a sheet of paper. I have bunches of offcuts. I was really into these kinds of nebulous, blobby shapes, and maybe making an edge there, and that would be gold, and this would be like the side of the, so it looks like it wraps around. Instead of doing like scales on my mermaids, because I mean, it's my art, I can do what I want. Maybe these are little leaves. trailing down and in and around. Why not? A little dark through here, so I'm gonna put heavier dots, concentrated situation of dots through there. And down here, I'm gonna do a little knobbly drawing on the outside of the skin. And then maybe another flower right here, tucked underneath this fold right here. And it's just an idea. It's just an idea. And then we've got some marks on the top of our little foot here. And there's some shadowing going in here. Go ahead and pop that in. Let's see. I want to work from the top down. I know I have to finish this, but I'm going to jump over here real quick and put in the idea of some growth happening back behind him, coming off of him. Maybe there's some petals right there. Like that. It doesn't have to be everywhere. A few little knobbies coming out. The idea like that. I don't like that break there, so I'll put a little bump. Cool. Okay. And some pointillism. Quick. It's easier to do pointillism straight up and down, so just get in your area and tap. But for me, it's easier to tap if I'm straight up and down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And wherever I would like some tappy taps, which is pretty much this entire area right through here, all these, but kind of far apart, because this is a lightly colored area. But it's highly textured as well. Lightly colored, highly textured. Just like the rest of them is highly textured. But we're gonna go a little, space it out a little bit, like that. Might as well get those toe beans, like that, and this foot over here. And wherever else you feel like tapping, if it feels a little too blank. A few dots, boop, 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 boop. And suddenly, you're good to go. A couple right here. There. Okay, now let's get in here with more details. Some more little circly circles. And scribbly scribbles, scribble. Just blatant scribbling going on. And then now that we're in the toe area, I want to be a little more mindful. I don't want to lose the fact that there's actually toes sitting here. They are textured, but they are also roundy, so make your shapes feel like they're going into a C or skirting around a cylinder. Which direction do you want your cylinder to go? And the same holds for branches of trees and things like that. That same thought pattern needs to be there. There we go, toe beans. These ones are lighter in color, but textured, so I'm gonna just do a few dots. And then the top of this one, some just little C shapes coming. Like here's our line, and they're coming in and down, but stopping, just sort of being a full C. Something like that. And it's so tiny, you guys probably can't tell what I'm doing there. There's a little claw situation at the end of each one of these little dudes. So we're gonna, just tiny little, it looks like a claw, a fingernail. Probably couldn't do any damage, but you know, it's there. Who are we to deny? Little claws, little tips like that. Now here, we've got some, this is the top of that foot. So we're gonna do that, and then down here I'm gonna come up and in with some little bits, just some little bits like that. And on this side, other direction. There. Cool. Like that. And then we're going to get in some actual things going on this side. Like that. Maybe here. Kind of like that. Okay. All right. I'm going to continue doing my thing. Little haphazard flower situation coming from there. Maybe there's a leaf situation happening over here. That. And we have more petals coming in off the side here. And then our little C shapes going in every direction, maybe the occasional circle. Purposely leaving this side alone. And we're almost done. And this has been my relax time, I didn't film any of those. I should have, but I was just having so much fun getting an idea. Like these are my ideas for is this going to be an effective video? Should I do this? Is anybody even going to like it? Does that matter? Let's just do it. Let's just do it and find out. And there's little toe bean situations going on here. I feel like the toes they're lifted. There's, I don't know, I can't tell what's going on here. So I'm just gonna scribble. There, done. Now, let's get this area. Let's see, what do I want to do here? I would like to get this shape in a little better. Put a little definitive line there. Maybe make this a little more like that, and then this a little more like that. Little broken lines through there. And then maybe make this a little less broken. Still broken, but just a little less. So it feels more like this is the mouth area. Maybe some scribble lines. I like that. Okay. That feels better. Some tiny little upward half C's. Upward, upward, and then upward in both directions there. And then from here down and around, very light, like that. Okay, good there. Now down here, let's finish this up. A little more concentrated area through there. Put some wiggly lines. nice and dark down here underneath that tummy, but I don't want it to be a line, so I'm doing like scribbles over the tops of scribbles to create that shadow feel. And then it's shadowy down here, like that. And then right through here is very dark. So we're going to go ahead and make it so. No fancy footwork going on here, just filling in the area. Like so. Then we're going to carry that darkness from here over here. And all of this is nice and dark right here. Like that. And I want to carry a little bit of super darkness right here. And maybe touch of super darkness directly under this foot, right here. Right here. A little bit here. Don't lose your shape. Maybe a touch right there. Okay. I like that. Now here's where you can get a little more creative. I want to put a little bit of toe bean texture over here. This looks like toe beans on top of toe beans over here. Now that I'm looking at it better. And then here is where you can make this your very own weird, creative situation. Okay. Like that. This is a leaf. Coming over like that, and maybe it's on top of another leaf, which is coming down like this. So then you can make your lines bold wherever you need to get your point across, and then here, overlapping flower leaf. Anywhere where things are overlapping, I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of pointillism for shadow effect. Overlapping here. And if you don't like the pointillism, if you feel like it's getting away from you a little bit, you can go ahead and get in there with a gray marker, or I'll show you in a minute. Color also will help, but I'm really feeling like I want these to be black and white. And then back here, I'm going to go ahead And from here, over the top of my toad, come in. Since it's over the top of my toad, I'm going to go ahead and really make that visually real. There. Like that. These are not real flowers, they're just obviously something made up in my mind. Just doodling for the sake of doodling. Why not? Okay. And then maybe back behind here, we have another flower coming up like that from here. Maybe there's another leaf going off in this direction. This one's pointing off and facing away, maybe. There we go. Or not. It's up to you. This is your world. You can do what you will. Maybe this one's not opened all the way. That. And maybe just some crazy action lines, something active, like that. And there's our drawing. Now, you could stop here completely. It's a great idea. Why not? But if you have this stash, like I do, of blending stumps, which you've used here and there, pick one. Pick one that has some residue on it. And go ahead and go in and drag it around to make some little shadows. Doesn't have to be anything super crazy. Maybe dark there. Maybe a bit right here. A bit right here. Maybe a bit right, let's see. That. I mean, and here's where you could get in with color as well. You can pretty much do whatever you want at this point. It's basically a coloring page, right? Just drag it around. I'm turning this so that I can grab some more of this. See, it's cleaning this off as well. See, the tip is almost completely clean. So I'm going to kind of go in with the edge a little bit. And scribble that around. And drag it about. Just have some fun with it. This one to be a bit darker, so like that. It just gives him some shape, right? Go ahead and get this darkened down here, coming up, like that. So you can do that if you wish. You can also get in here with any other medium, chalk, craziness. You can do the same thing with any one of your sketches that you've done. Like this one, I can come in here. Get in some little bits of shadow here and there. And just give it a softer, more finished feel. I'm being mindful of your lines still. Shadows still follow along, right? Like that. And where my petals, I feel like they want to curl and the top is light. Definitely go in there and be mindful though of the shape of your shadows mirroring what's folding over around, or at least feeling like it is, right? So right here would be just a little darker right there, and maybe here and here if you can get it to go. And you can do this for any drawing that you want. You can get in here and really give it a little zhuzh, a little zhuzhing. Maybe a little vignette feel. Just take the corners and really, and this mat that I'm drawing on is soft, kind of like a mouse pad, a mouse mat. Go all around our berries like that. Our edges. You know, being mindful, purposeful to a point. For me, something like this really gives the just sketch, this line drawing, some depth, some feeling, a little bit of emotion. Without adding color, which is what my instinct is. My instinct at this point is to just go in with color. But knowing that I feel like color kind of ruined my doodle. It wasn't the feeling I was going for. Not that this is bad, it's just not what I was going for. I was going for more something like these. These here was what I was trying to shoot for. Or if you are going to go in with color, so say you can't help yourself, because usually I can't. help myself. Where'd my little, oh, I put it back up there. My little cup of blending tools. This is a pot that my daughter made me back in 2006 when she was little. I've had it forever. I love it so much. So if you have color on a blending stick, you can use these to just, let's see, where would we do this? Pop in a little bit of, like a hint of color instead of actual color. You can go in and just, like, instead of getting in there with a colored pencil, which will give you a completely different feel. See that? That little corner of color there? Maybe just zhuzh it around in some areas. I might not want it on my berries or on my flower, but a little bit of color in the background could be desirable. You could go in with watercolor at this point because this is indeed multimedia paper, so it will take that. I have these blending stumps that have ink on them. This is that blue. It's blending stump. It's a little blending brush. So you could take the residuals off of your other tools for other mediums and just get in there. Just get in there. How crazy nice is that? This is ink. It's from my ink pads, which are all once dried, waterproof, and you can use different mediums over the top. Sorry, that's my, oh, that's my other toys inside my drawers making noise because they can. We can go ahead and get in there with that. I feel like it gives it a whole different mood, doesn't it? Soft though, which I like, and it didn't obliterate my flower or my berries. And then I have a little bit of red on this, so we can come in. I don't want it to be too heavy. And in the area where the berries are, give it a little subtle, super subtle, right? Excuse me, you're in the way. Little scrub. Like that. And this could be a whole nother video, a coloring in video, like we did our sketch. So let me know if you want to see me color in these guys or any of the other drawings I'm going to do today. Because I'm going to do several of these videos, so you'll see those coming up. But yeah, this is the idea behind using up some scraps, right? Using up some nice offcuts. And as I've said before in other videos, I have lots of offcuts to play with. Some of them are Astrid paintings, like they're little Astrid paintings that make really great, that's Astrid's my granddaughter, make a great background. So let's see, this is her art. And I saved them, little bits of paint on her papers, and then just flat out playing with Nana's watercolors and putting them on paper. A bunch of them she took home, so but the ones that she doesn't, like this, could become a piece of art at some point, so I just put it in the drawer, in the bin. But yeah, that's the video for today. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to be editing and putting this one up for today because I didn't do a Wednesday or Friday video, and it is Saturday, the 29th, I believe, of March. So yeah, this is where we're at. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for being here. Bye.